Like other animals, humans also have a system that excretes nitrogen wastes like urea, salt, and water through urinary or excretory system. The urinary or excretory system consists of a pair of kidneys, ureters, urinary bladder, and urethra. Now, let us learn in detail about the structure and function of nephron. Structure of nephron. Generally, each nephron has two parts: Malphizian body, renal tubule. Malphizian body. It consists of a blind cup-shaped border at the end of the nephron called Bowman's capsule and a bunch of fine blood capillaries called glomerulus. These two, Bowman's capsule and glomerulus, together called as Malphizian capsule or renal capsule. Glomerulus develops from efferent arteriole, which gives rise to an efferent arteriole. Basically, the diameter of efferent arteriole is less than efferent arteriole. As the efferent arteriole has narrow outlet, more pressure is exerted in the glomerulus. It functions as a filtration unit. Glomerulus that is accommodated in Bowman's capsule is lined by a single layer of squamous epithelial cells called podocyte cells. These podocyte cells are made up of fine pores between them. This allows passage of materials that are filtered out of glomerulus. There are fine pores between podocyte cells to allow passage of materials filtered out of glomerulus. Renal tubule. Renal tubule consists of three parts. First are proximal convoluted tubule (PCT), loop of Henle. Second are distal convoluted tubule (DCT). Distal convoluted tubules (DCT) commences into a collecting tube. Collecting tube forms pyramids and calyces which open into the pelvis. Pelvis directs into the ureter. All the parts of the renal tubule are enclosed by a peritubular capillaries that are formed from efferent arteriole. This peritubular capillaries join together to form renal venule. Now, let us study the mechanism involved in the formation of urine. Formation of urine involves 4 stages: glomerular filtration, tubular reabsorption, tubular secretion, excretion, concentration of urine. Click each tab to know more. Glomerular filtration. From renal artery, blood flows into glomerulus under the influence of pressure and due to the narrowness of efferent arteriole. Due to this, it undergoes pressure filtration. Glomerulus filters the waste molecules, urea, salt, glucose, amino acids and water. Blood gets filtered through the kidneys about 6 times a day. Tubular reabsorption. The filtrate obtained from glomerulus is also termed as the primary urine. This is almost equal to blood in chemical composition except the presence of blood cells. This filtrate substance passes into PCT, proximal convoluted tubule. PCT reabsorbs the useful substances present in primary urine such as glucose, amino acids, vitamin C, potassium, calcium, sodium, chlorides, and 75% of water. Tubular secretion. It secretes the waste products from blood capillaries to urinary tubule. After reabsorption of materials in PCT region, the urine travels through the loop of Henle into DCT, distal convoluted tubule. Here, some other waste products from blood are removed like urea, uric acid, extra salt, ions of potassium, sodium, chloride, and hydrogen secretes from peritubular capillaries into DCT. This maintains proper concentration and pH of urine. These wastes are collected as urine and are passed into the bladder. Concentration of urine. 75% of water content of nephric filtrate is reabsorbed in proximal convoluted tubule, and 10% of water passes out of filtrate through osmosis in the region of loop of Henle. Further concentration takes place in the region of collecting tubes in the presence of hormone called vasopressin. This hormone gets secreted only when concentrated urine is passed out. In the absence of vasopressin hormone, only dilute urine is secreted. Hormone action maintains osmotic concentration of body fluids. Deficiency of vasopressin causes excessive, repeated and dilute urination, diabetes insipidus. Now, let us discuss the remaining parts of excretory system. First, let us learn about the function of ureters. Ureters. In human body, a pair of ureters is present which is made of smooth muscle fiber. The ureters are whitish, narrow, distensible and muscular tubes. The size of each ureter in adults is 25 to 30 cm long and 3 to 4 mm in diameter. Each ureter arises from hilus of the kidney. From the hilus, the ureter passes down along the sides of pelvis and finally enters at the back of the bladder. The function of ureter is it carries urine from kidney to the urinary bladder. The movement of urine in the ureter is done by peristalsis. At the entrance of the bladder, the ureters are surrounded by valves called ureterovesical valves, which prevent the backflow of urine. Let us learn about the functioning of urinary bladder in detail. Urinary bladder. The urinary bladder is an organ that collects urine excreted by the kidneys before disposal by urination. If the bladder is empty, then it is in the shape of a pear. Urine enters the bladder via ureters and exits through the urethra. The storage capacity of urinary bladder is 300 to 800 ml. Let us learn the functioning of urethra in detail. Urethra. Urethra is a tube that collects urine from urinary bladder and sends it to the outside. The opening of urinary bladder into urethra is guarded by a ring of muscles or sphincter. The size of urethra is 4 cm long in females and about 20 cm long in males. Its opening is separate in females but is in common with the reproductive tract in males, urinogenital duct.